Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program with me, Knee-High Hobo, where last time we managed to achieve an orbit round Kerbal and we are gearing up to start our interplanetary travel stage. And that's what we're going to be doing this episode. Fingers crossed the atomic engine doesn't disconnect itself like it has done previously. But only time will tell for that one. Just before we head off, quickly, again, want to talk about Movember. It's a charitable event which I'm involved in, where I will be growing mutton chops. If you don't know what those are, that's basically loads and loads of facial hair, but not around the neck or the mouth, and you just have these big, puffy things on your cheeks. I'm doing this for a cause called Movember, where gentlemen grow facial hair as a conversation starter to testicular cancer. So it's trying to get guys to talk more openly about their nether regions. All the money raised goes to cancer research. There's a chipping widget at the bottom of the description, so when this video is finished, if you want to pop over and donate to the cause, I sure would appreciate it. Ladies, you can get involved as well if you head over to the Movember website, and there's things for women to do there too. Of course, though, it is for the month of November only, so if you're watching this after December the 1st, 2012, then unfortunately it's too late this time, but this event does run every November, so you can save your money up and donate next time it comes about. With that said, I also would like to say hello to I'm just going to do 3 today because I haven't updated my list, but Zelda Corporation, Pivotia 24, and Jennifer Piffer, I think that's pronounced Pifher. Apologies if I haven't pronounced that correctly, but welcome to all of you guys, and thank you for your support, and thank you everybody for your support. We are nearing the end of this list, so I am nearly caught up now, so that's good news. So that's that page gone. Anyway, without further ado, let us continue. So what we're going to do is we're going to do it down the length this time, so pretty much where we are. We'll get onto our orbital path, and so there we go. So we've got 3 tanks of fuel for the atomic engine. Now the atomic engine is not a strong engine by any means, if nobody's used it yet. It's this one here, sometimes mistakenly called a nuclear engine. I know I've been doing that plenty. And it goes through 1.5 litres a second. So this is 400 per 4.8, 1200 litres, which should give about a day and a half of burning time. However, you see the rate of acceleration is pretty slow, but the higher we get, the less that's going to matter as we do more to escape these influences. It will have less and less effect. But sure as hell, you try and take off a planet. In fact, I think you'd even struggle to get off a moon with it. I don't know. I've not tried. But like I say, for fuel consumption, brilliant. So 3 tanks should be more than sufficient to get us into a point of interception with Duna. I don't know what's going on with this SAS. It was being problematic last episode. This episode, it's not playing. It's just doing whatever it fucking wants. So as you see, we're going to be at this for quite some time. So I probably actually could have done with saving that Movember chat till now. I could have taken a bit more time over it. For those of you who are regular viewers and who are getting a little bit sick of me talking about it, I do apologise, but I do believe that it's something that's worth raising awareness for. So it's only for 1 month. You can be big and brave and just deal with it until then. Or you could just donate all the money and I'll shut up. I'll shut up for $100. How's that? So yeah, just coming up to the 1,000,000 meter mark. Very uneventful as we pass through. So yeah, the other thing as well is if I all of a sudden just cut the video off, excuse me, it's just something went down the wrong way there, swallowed a fly. If I do cut away very suddenly, it's because the phone's ringing. I do need to speak to... I'm currently in the process of moving house. Again, sorry for those regular viewers who are getting sick of me talking about this. In fact, actually, let's do a rotation and come back to the periapsis. And I'm having the devil's own job getting broadband added to the house. So I need to speak to the current tenants to find out how they did it, so that I can have it, so that I can do a live stream hopefully as soon as I move in. I want to live stream The Godfather 2 because it doesn't look as that series is going to continue because of the problems I've been having with EA over it. So I will live stream it and it shall be done. There you go, that's a little bit better, like I say. So, I mean, fuel, we're just about to burn through this top tank. This actually doesn't, all of a sudden, isn't looking as hopeful as I was in the first place. It seems to be taking a lot to get out of here. Just wondering if orbit stage, if we need to do an orbit stage earlier. Like I say, as this sort of gets past the moon and Eve, it'll be radical how much effect it has. But I don't know, it just seems to be struggling to do very much of anything at this moment in time. I mean, it's speeding up, certainly, but it's just not speeding up enough. We need more power. I want to go to this, whatever this is here. Like I say, I mean, you do get an incredibly long time on each one of these tanks. I just don't think it's enough time. Right, I'm getting sick of readjusting this orbit, so I'm going to put it here. See if we get a bit more legs out of it. Of course, the other thing that we could try is doing a just before midday takeoff launch and just aim straight at the sun and just or a midnight and just try and break the influence in a straight line, save having to try and achieve an orbit first. That'd be interesting. I've never tried that before. It'd be interesting to see how that turned out. Again, I know it's not the prescribed way to go about it, but so we're about halfway through our interstellar stage. I know a vast majority of it is going to be spent here, but I don't know, the amount... It's taken a tank and a half to get that far, so that would be 10 million meters. I think... Remember, it says 46. So we'll just get past the Mun at this, by that estimation. But I know it's a non-linear scale. So, I mean, maybe it just gets us past Eve, I don't know. But sure as hell, if we haven't escaped with a full tank of fuel, we're in trouble. And it's probably going to be an aborted launch. I mean, this is starting to grow reasonably well, but I mean, we're just not gaining any speed, really. I don't know, it just doesn't feel like the economy's there. Yeah, shooting at the horizon isn't really pushing us back down to the planet or anything. What are we doing? We're coming down to the last slither of our tank. So this has got to happen really quick now. In fact, catching one of these moons and letting that launch us out would have been quite good as well. Whoops. No, that wasn't it. So there we go. That's us escaped with this slither of fuel in here. So let's go ahead and try and achieve an orbit around the sun. A little bit closer to our path with Duna. So let's escape to begin with. So that's it. We're now on an orbit round a solar orbit, if you will. So where's Duna? Duna's over there. So I don't know. Do we come? We need to get a little bit closer. So let's just let's spin on. Let's get to the apoapsis and then push the periapsis up. I think they'll swap around anyway at that. Because we are making some pretty good progress on Duna there. We are going to have to also burn a bit earlier here because, as you saw, how long it took for us to get into that sort of position. So to do a complete 180 to begin with. Now I wanted to do, actually didn't need to do that flip, did I? Okay, and there we go. Maybe just push a little bit closer to the periapsis because, as I say, we need every bit of influence that we can gain. And then this is a bit of a weird psychology. You actually need to go slower to go faster when you're orbiting a celestial body such as this. So if we wanted to catch up with Duna, we need to stay on this inside track And the slower we go, the closer we get to the sun, the less distance we have to travel, so the sooner we'll come into this sort of line with it. Whereas if we try to get onto its track or beyond it, and we'd be travelling physically faster because we have to cover the extra distance, it doesn't make it worth your while. So, with that said, let's throttle up. So there we go. Now, so that's the two, the periapsis and apoapsis swapping on each other. The reason it does that is because the periapsis has to be the lowest point and the apoapsis has to be the highest point. And generally, when you're accelerating, you become one or the other. So let's notice that we came slightly off axis there, so I just want to make sure, because doing that is really going to fuck us up. I really wish this SAS would keep its shit together. So what's that? It's a 20 billion, 22.3, no sorry, 20.3 billion meters. Which is what we need to grow ours to. Giggity. Oh dear, yes, this engine is testing. I think we might need to come back again and rethink this one more time with even more fuel still. Like I say, the further away that you get from any sort of body, the more effective, I wouldn't say efficient, but more effective your rockets become. You can see that number speeding up quite substantially. However, we are still gaining just slightly over a meter per second. So it's probably about 2 meters per second. Sorry, 2 meters per 3 seconds per second would be the unit, I guess. Yeah, see, look, we're going to drink through this fuel before we even reach this sort of contact here. It's, I think this looks starting to look more and more like a dead mission, because we see what happens when we have to use this stage before we get to planetfall. Unless we get so lucky and this actually happens to be an organic interception point. But I'm not convinced. Potentially, I mean, we will make ground up certainly in this sort of section, but we're certainly on the right side of it, but we would be so lucky. That's even if this stage gets us to the height we need to be. So 23, 33. Yeah, we have a long way to go, and not a lot of fuel to get us there. Well, it's been fun, atomic rocket stage, but your end is nigh. So we're going to throttle back again. And just put a little bit of thrust in there. And see the difference. With 4 of these regular engines at 0 thrust. But we're going to drink through this stage in no time because all 4 engines are feeding off it, and this stage. But I mean, what's the fuel being drained out? 4 litres a second, so we've got 100 seconds of fuel in there. It may be enough. 1 minute 40. So everything's just a game of patience with this game. The game of patience is a game for people in hospital or under some sort of psychiatric evaluation. So not a lot longer now, but I don't know whether or not we can... Yeah, looks like we've chalked through that tank. That can't be... What litres a second? Because there's 100 seconds. I'm sure that's right mathematically. But it didn't detach, actually, the atomic engine, so that's an improvement. It's a vast improvement of what we were dealing with first time. Right, so that's falling. So I think I'm going to stay with that for a little while. So let's get up there and find out what is the crack with this. What that does when we get there. If we're going to catch it or if we're going to have to come and make another pass. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to catch it on this turn. However, we might get to this end and just grow our periapsis some more to give us a bit of a better opportunity around this sort of skirt here and more time here, hopefully, because like I say, we still need to catch it, so this doesn't need to get that high, so we want to keep this about halfway up. Because as well, we need to do it with using as little fuel as possible. Okay, and we're just going to throw this up the other way. So it becomes a lot more responsive now that all the weight's off it. In fact, a bit too responsive. Just overshot our mark quite considerably there, as you can full well see. Talking about stuff on the screen that everybody can see. Okay, just a very gentle burn there. So I don't want to grab it too much, but certainly at this rate, we're going to overshoot it massively, and that we don't want. I think this is too big a gap to catch it this time round as well. That's the other thing I want to be careful of, is growing this too much. mean, it's got a bit to grow there, but sure as hell don't want to have a huge amount more. So how are we doing? So we're just about to finish using up that centre section. We're coming on to these tanks now, which are our landing tanks. See, I would imagine that we'd sort of start looking at catching it here. If we can sort of get this right. Like I say, this is the other one that I don't want to push this too far up. If these two start to touch, then we need to go a bit further along and do it again. We're also slightly off kilter. Whoops. But that's just made things worse. See, it's no good having an exact orbit as well as what you're trying to chase, because you'll never make the time up, and you could be thousands of meters different in speed. I mean, it's the closer you get to the orbit of what you're chasing, the closer you become to matching the speed. But even if you were 1,000 meters apart on speed, if we are, you know, at the moment we're talking about being millions, or if not hundreds of millions, away from our target. To the point where we know where it is. It's over here somewhere, but you can't see it. I mean, that could possibly be it. Or this little constellation here, that looks a bit low. In fact, that planet there looks a bit low. So, yeah, it could be this little constellation over here, but it's simply we're just too far away to see it. For any of that stuff to, you know, 1,000 meters per second difference is far too little to care about. Again, we're still slowly going up. Yeah. So here, for example, we're talking about this periapsis going up more than 10,000 meters a second, but it's having such a little bearing because of the scale of everything. I don't want to burn for too much longer. How are we doing for fuel? We're still on these top tanks, that's good. Okay, I'm going to cut the engines and we're going to get to the periapsis and just do a bit more of a burn. In fact, we'll just slightly overshoot a touch. And again, we'll move that up. See, at this moment in time, I think if we did an entire orbit, we'd come out here and we'd be in front of it. But I don't want to go a huge amount, much more higher. Okay, I'm going to cut it there. Let's just see what that does to it. So we should, obviously, the further round we come, the more we are going to gain on it. It looks like we're actually gaining already at quite a speed. Of course, the other thing you could always do, which isn't very efficient, so it's not something I think we're going to be doing because we don't have enough energy, enough fuel, but you can get slightly in front of it and then just point at the sky and just burn to lift your periapsis. It just burns straight at your target. Very, very very costly in fuel, but it should work. It's easier to speed up at your periapsis and throw yourself. So there we go. I mean, this looks like we're going to come down and it's going to be close. It's going to be close for a guess. And I bet when we get back round to the apoapsis, I bet if I did another prograde burn, we could get an area of influence quite quickly. About halfway down those tanks, just a little over. There we go. Yeah, I was right in my prediction that we're going to overshoot it, but it's not bad. It's doable. Okay. So again, we'll get to the periapsis, or the apoapsis even. Get back onto the 90-degree mark. And again, we'll just chuck a bit more fuel in it. Swap those over. See, got to be careful because here we've pushed over the orange line. So we could really do with being here and pushing this up. But like I say, we don't want to be spot on. However, it's bending the orbit in the wrong way. So let's get... we need to get here and grow that a little bit. Is what we need to do. And then that should be enough just to let Duna catch up with us. So about its highest point, which is near enough in between, if that's 0 and that's 180, then about 90 to its 270 should be about the right spot there. Because again, we're making this gap bigger because we're on the inside track, so we're pulling away from Duna. Well, we obviously need Duna to be catching up with us, and that will start happening after about here. It will start catching up with us again. I think we've just gone over the year mark for this mission as well. So it's going to be about here that we want to go prograde, and that should allow us to intercept. How are we doing? We're not doing too badly for fuel. I'd like to be looking at getting down to Duna with at least one full tank. 2 would have been better, but you get what you're given. Right, so we're not too far off it now. Okay, I'd say about here. That's its retrograde. It's come up on this 90 mark. Just make sure that we're absolutely spot on, because that 5 degrees is going to make us miss. It would really, what? I don't want this. Jesus, that's really fucked me up. I accidentally hit the tab button there, and that's why it decided to disengage the Duna Beast. 3,000, surely. Just need to make sure that we're actually trying to pilot the correct fucking vehicle here. Yep, we are. Okay. So let's just grow that a tiny bit. See if we can't come up with an influence. Right, I'm pretty sure that I don't want them much closer than that. So let's fast forward and see what happens when we come out of this bit. Maybe it's just not catching up as quickly as I thought, and it's going to take a couple of laps to get that distance shut down. Because, I mean, that is surely as near as damn it. But, I mean, again, this gap is, on the scheme of things, huge. But I can't see how one more pass isn't going to do it. Oh, I need to sneeze. Wow, excuse me. So let's see, it's because it's got the inside track on us here. It should make up a bit more of that ground. Everything's just little bits. So we could go. No, we couldn't. Let's let it have this inside track and see. I've got a feeling it's going to overtake us. In which case what we might need to do is start looking at a prograde burn. A retrograde burn, yeah. So, let's look at going retrograde now. Oh, damn it, that was it, wasn't it? I just took my eyes off the screen for a second to look at the keyboard. Fucking hell, this thing's got so much roll on it. Right, one thing at a time. Let's sort this roll out. Let's get you... Come on. Don't know what's wrong with it. Every time I want it to go up, it wants to roll to the right a little bit. Better start behaving for the fucking landing. Just does not want to get on this line. Jesus. Ugh. Cool. Right, okay, so that's 42 minutes there, so I think that's going to be enough for this episode. But next time you join us, we'll finish this and we'll try again for a third time to put boots on Eve and Duna. And we're looking not too bad for fuel. The fuel situation's okay. Yeah. So I have to see what sort of orbit we approach on. So now would be a good time to go and click the chip-in widget at the bottom of the description if you'd like to donate money to me for Movember. If you haven't already, but don't forget, after December the 1st, 2012, it's too late. So don't worry about it after then. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe to stay up to date with the rest of the series and see how I get on with putting this down for the third time. My name is Hobo and I will see you next time. Goodbye.